Creating forms with CSS. Hi guys, welcome back to this section, and the first thing I'm gonna show you actually is something from the last lecture, because in the last lecture I think I didn't show you the padding. So this is what I will do now. Let's make padding top, okay, and we're gonna do this on the box 1, and I will make it 20px, okay. Let's save it and let's run our file, and you can see that the text is going with the padding from the border of our box, okay, and this is basically the padding. And if I select box 1 here and I select padding, you can actually see how it's marked in green on our screen. It is actually quite useful, this tool here, okay. So, and that's it, what I want to share from the last lecture. I will actually delete it now, because today we're actually going to create some categories. You've done this already with the HTML, but today we're going to apply some CSS functionality here. And I'll go to the index HTML, and what I will do is I will create some categories here. So let's write. So first I write a div, okay. So we have a container here, and the class will be class, and then categories, and that's it. So when we modify the class categories in our CSS, we know that we modify the exact categories displayed on our screen. Pretty straightforward actually. So let's simply write here h2 categories, and then just under it let's write ul ay, and then inside a hashtag, and this will be category 1, okay. And this is each line of our categories. So I will actually copy and paste this a few times, so we have different categories. So this will be 2, 3, and 4. So now we have 4 categories here that should be displayed. Let's save this and run our code again. And now you can see that you have the section categories with the header 2 categories, and then you have different categories, and the hashtag, obviously it's used for us to be able to select each of these categories. Obviously when you select it, nothing will happen because we don't have backend here applied. So let's go now to the style CSS and start modifying these categories. So I will simply write dot categories h2, and this means that the first thing I will do is to simply modify the header. Okay, so let's write here text align center, and that's it. Let's save it and let's see what happens. So now we managed to place the categories text in the center, the header. I will actually remove this window here so you can see the website on the whole window. So here we go. Then let's write dot categories, and let's actually add some functionality to the whole category box or the whole category container. So let's write border, so 1 pixel border, blue, solid. Then we're gonna add padding of 10 pixels. Then let's add border radius this time of 15 pixels, and margin left, which is going to be 20 pixels. Okay, that's it. So let's run it now and see what's gonna happen. So now, as you can see, we have a border around our categories, and the border has a radius. It is blue and it is solid. This is exactly what we specified here. And finally, let's actually modify each bit of the categories. So I will simply write dot categories ul, and here I want padding of 0 pixels, then list style square, so we're gonna change the circles to be squares. And what else, let's add margin left of 20 pixels. Okay, let's see how it looks now. So you can see now that we changed completely the shape of our circles. Now they are square, so each bullet point has a changed shape, and we also applied the margin and the padding, which was 0 actually. So that's it. And let's now change the lines. So let's write dot categories and then AY, and here let's add padding of the bottom, and this will be 6px. Then border bottom will be 1 pixel, and for the cover, let's actually place the cover into a different type here. So you see now when I save it, there will be a difference, and this is actually the cover for red. So you can see now when I select certain thing, it is getting red. Okay, and here I'm just pressing and holding this line. Okay, and we can even place an image instead of these bullet points here. So let's find an X image in internet and place it here. So I'll write, so let's write X icon PNG, and let's actually search for an image that we can take. So I will actually download this image here, and what you can do is simply place this image into your CSS project, and I will write here x.png. Okay, so we'll import that picture from the images, right? So let's write here list style image, okay, URL, and then in the brackets let's write // images, so the location of our images folder, and then the name of the file, which is x.png. Okay, and then semicolon. That should be it. Let's run it now and see. So as you can see, our X is way too big for being displayed here. You can see now, and for that reason we need to actually make it smaller. So a simple fix on this is to basically open it with Paint, or you can open it with Photoshop as well. So here I will just resize it, and I will make it 10 pixels. Okay, then press OK here, and I will save it. That's it. And if I save it here and run it again, you see that the X's are way smaller now, and everything looks right at the moment. So that was it, guys. I think we covered pretty much a lot of stuff today. You created a new section on categories, and also you added and modified the different types of categories. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Creating forms with CSS. Hello guys, today we're actually going to explore something that we've done already with the HTML, but now we're going to do it much cooler and way better with the CSS. So today we're going to do forms, and I will actually create a quite simple form with the HTML and then design it with the style.css file. So let's go to the index.html, and outside the class categories I'm going to create a class called form1. Okay, so let's write form, and here class form1. Okay, so now you can start modify this form here, and let's write div class form dash group, and inside label, so the label will be name and 2 dots, and then let's write input, and the input will be text, so the type of input is text and the name is name. Okay, then let's create another div, or actually let's create the next label just under it. So yeah, in the other div I will again write class, and the class will be, actually, do you know what I will do? I will copy every form group. Okay, so I will just copy and paste this here, so it is way easier. And here I'll write email, and this will be message. Okay, so for the email will be of a type text, and the name will be email. Okay, and then the message will be of a type, actually I will remove the type and I will simply leave name, and the name will be message. Okay, That's it. And finally, I will create a button. So the button obviously will be the submit button, and I will actually remove the class here, okay? So it doesn't have the same class as the form group. And then instead of label, I will actually remove it, and we're going to keep only the input. So in the input, I write class, and the class will be button, then, and here's name, okay? So then the type is going to be submit, then the name will be actually empty, and the value, so here we have a value, the value will be equal to submit, okay? So that's it, guys. Let's run the code and see what is going to be the outcome of our form. So you can see that now we have the form, we have name, email, and message. So let's actually in the message write type message, okay? Let's save it. So actually for message we don't have a type, and as I remember, instead of input I will actually add text area, and in the text area I write name and then message, okay? So this was the way that we did it when we were doing the HTML course. So when I run it now, you can see that now we're having a text field here that we can actually modify, and we're getting our submit button that when we press it, the website is just updating. So this is the HTML part, but let's talk about how we can style this. So let's write here dot form1, okay, and let's add some style to our form1. So let's add padding of 20 pixels, and then let's write form1, or actually dot form1, then dot form group. So we're here modifying only the form group that we mentioned earlier, and then let's write padding bottom 15 px or 15 pixels. Then let's write dot form 1 label, then display black, then dot form 1, and let's modify the input. So here we can actually specify in a type. So let's write type equals text, and then dot form 1 text area. Okay, so here we're modifying the text and also the text area that we created there. And then let's write here padding 8px, and also I will add width of 100%. Okay, and let's run this and see what's gonna change. So you can see now our fields are taking the 100% here, and they look quite more representative now. So we've done this, we changed everything, and now one last thing before ending this video, I want to modify the submit button, okay? So what I will do is I'll write dot form1 input, and I will specify the type. So let's write type equals submit. So I ensure that I modify only the submit type, okay, which you can see that the submit type is the button, okay, so type submit, okay, and here all the data that I want is going to be applied to the submit button. So let's write background color will be 333, then the color will be white, then the padding I will make it 10 pixels and then 15 pixels, okay, and then border none, to ensure that there is no border, because as you can see now we're having a border here which is black, okay. That's it, let's run it, and you can see that now our submit button is way more stylish, and looks way better than comparing with what we had with the HTML. So that was it for today, guys. You learned how to create forms with CSS and how to basically modify them and make them more stylish. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video where you will learn how to create your first website with CSS.